It is day 11 of the Olympic Winter Games in Sochi. The entire nation swept up in Olympic fever. However, sports officials in this province have concerns as the number of Albertans competing in the Olympics has dropped over the past 3 games. Funding seems to be the issue. Here to talk about it, Dale Henwood, the Calgary president of the Canadian Sport Institute. Welcome.
Thank you.
I didn't know this. Is that fairly common that people don't actually know that these numbers are dwindling like this?
Well, I don't think it is common knowledge. I think that certainly we in this area have rested, I think, on our laurels, and there's been lots of good performances by athletes that are using the facilities here as an example in Alberta. But if you look at those athletes that are really produced and a product of the Alberta system, that number is dwindling. There's lots of athletes that are using the facilities, and I'm going to say are more federally supported, that are doing well. But if you look at the number of kind of developed and produced athletes from Alberta, that number is going down on a regular basis, both summer and winter.
Okay, well, yeah, talk some numbers if you would, both summer and winter.
So on the summer side, as an example, the last 3 Olympics, we went in 2004, we had 12%. Alberta had 12% of the Canadian team. And then we went to 10% in Beijing, and then we were just over 7% in London. On the winter side, again, with our facilities and the great environment we have here, it went from 33% to 29%, and now it's less than 25%. So the trend is not something that we're encouraged.
So is it different in other provinces? I'm just wondering, I mean, you say facilities. Facilities are being upkept, right?
Yeah.
So how much is going towards something like that? How much more would you want to allocate to athletes who are up and coming? And
so I think that a lot of other provinces, Ontario, British Columbia, and Quebec in particular, have put a lot of money into the athlete development system, so trying to help those young athletes in their journey. Athletes maybe 12 to 17 to 20 years of age, and trying to provide them with coaching, with good science and medicine support to help them with their performance along the way. By choice, I would say, we've put our money in facilities, which is great, but so have other provinces. We've put our money into big events. Again, from a tourism standpoint, that's great, but so have other provinces. Where we're lacking is the money to try and help those young athletes get up to a higher level so that hopefully someday they can make the national team and then represent Alberta on an international basis. I understand also that Own the Podium cut a significant amount of their budget from the Canadian Sport Institute, $800,000. Well, it's in jeopardy, absolutely. We'll find out. We'll find out on April 1st on that. But that's they have for several years asked the province to be a partner in high-performance sport. And again, in comparative provinces, Ontario, BC, and Quebec, they have either come alongside as significant matching partners, or in some cases more than that. But in Alberta, they haven't seen the way to try and even come forward as a partner. So those dollars that are coming from federal sources are definitely in jeopardy as of April 1st. Well, what else is in jeopardy when you talk about these young athletes, the funding, the training, but what else can sort of start to fall by the wayside if this money is not there? Well, I think that just the pride we have in the province of trying to contribute to a national objective. Right now, my view is Alberta is not a player when it comes to helping Canada win internationally, and I believe we'll never win the most medals, as an example, as a winter nation if Alberta is not a player. So today we're not a player, but I think what will happen is you will see less and less kids get involved in sport, fewer and fewer people involved in sport if they don't have some local heroes to follow and aspire to. Okay, so you pointed out Ontario, Quebec, British Columbia. What are they doing different? Is there any particular model that you would like to see Alberta follow? Well, I think the Quebec model has been a pretty good model, where the province of Quebec has said, as an example, performance sport is their business. They'll work with their provincial sport organizations and really hold them accountable for performance. So I think that's one good model, but sport is important there, and again, performance sport is important there. In Alberta, we have other choices to make, and right now the province has said it's more on facilities or it's on events, and it's broad-based support. It's not necessarily trying to help those younger athletes come up the system. Is there a way to come up with more money that's not government funded? Is there also a way to lobby the government if you believe that this is something that is worth funding? I guess, first of all, I don't think government should be your first or only source. Secondly, I would say if there isn't new money from the province, then I think they have to have the willingness to redeploy what they presently have if it's important for the province to be involved in the high-performance system. But certainly corporations, I think there's a good effort right now to say to corporations, especially the smaller companies, say in the Calgary area, will you help us for the next 5 to 8 years, as an example, because it is a long-term journey. Will you help us take some of these younger athletes and see if we can develop them up to the national team level?
Is there any sort of benchmark that you think will be happening when the Canada Winter Games are here?
Well, we're hoping that because we're going to host it in Alberta, that the goal would be to be #1. We have consistently been #4 on the winter side. I would say we should do a much better job of that. We should try at least to be #1, and I'm hoping that we will very quickly, as a province, say when we host it in 2019, we're going to be the #1 province.
I think that's a good goal.
Thank you.
How do people find out more information, Dale?
You can certainly go to the website, sportalberta.ca, and find out more about who we are and what we do.
Thanks very much for this.
Thank you.